The Survivor Girl podcast. Thank you for joining me tonight. I am excited to be here with you guys. So, thank you for tuning in. I know it was a week, I'm a week past, and that's okay. I had some stuff going on, and I am back here to do the podcast. So, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and start off by saying this is purely for entertainment. I do talk about subjects that are a little bit tougher at times. There's things that I speak about that I've gone through personally, and when I have guests on, they speak about the things that they've gone through personally as well. So, with that being said, just a reminder that I cannot treat, prescribe, or do any of the things that doctors can do by treating. If you do feel like you need help, um, please make sure that you contact somebody who is trained to be able to help you through that. So, anyway, thank you guys for joining me. I just wanted to get that out of the way and let you guys know that I am glad to be here. I'm glad to be back. It's been a couple crazy couple weeks or so, about a month now. Things have gone to a little bit of a halt on some of the other channels for Strange Friends Media. There's things that we're working through and getting through right now. And it's just been one of those things of trying to stay on track, get myself on track, and keep myself focused on the things that I still need to be focusing on. So I had a couple of, like I said, weeks there where things were just a little bit changed up. I was forgetting the what day it was, what time it was, all that kind of stuff. So it's been kind of interesting trying to navigate and get through that, to keep on moving forward and to stay positive and to not let rifts in the road and things that have changed keep me from trying to achieve the stuff that I'm supposed to be. It's actually really opened up my eyes to see what direction and all the stuff that we have accomplished and have done in the past. It's really helped me to keep on navigating through and navigating forward. So I have been talking a lot about wanting to change up some of the stuff that I want to do for Survivor Girl in particular. Some of the things I kind of wanted to start adding and talking about, and I've talked about it for a while now. And I just really have to sit down and get out an idea of the things that I really want to do to be able to bring to you guys. It's fun to talk about and have those things kind of put forward when you're get it in your mind and you're like, yeah, I'm going to do this. But being able to actually go through with it and continue to keep on doing stuff like that to bring more content is really what I need to do, and I need to buckle down and figure that out. Just as being human and trying to do all that stuff plus go and navigate everything else that's going on in life, it can be kind of challenging sometimes. But with that being said, I know that I'm not the only person that goes through that. And I've been working with another friend of mine who continually will say, well, what are the positives? What is it that you can get out of this experience that is a positive, instead of just focusing on all the negatives? And with doing that, it's been a lot easier to navigate through the stuff that's going on, and to keep on, like I said, focusing and staying forward with it. I have a thing, I guess, with scheduling and making sure that I am doing the right stuff and getting the right stuff done. But I can say proudly that I have been focusing more on myself and getting myself under control. I know a couple times on the podcast in the past we've talked um, about me having a problem with falling back down that rabbit hole of sugar addiction. And I have really been working on that a lot lately. I still have been struggling with the sugar part of it, but I had finally yesterday just went through the house and gathered the stuff that I needed to get rid of so that I could focus and stay out of that kind of stuff. And if it's not here in front of me, I can keep moving forward and focusing on that. So that was one of the big projects. I know it is springtime. It's beautiful outside. It's that time of year when people start to clean and get rid of stuff and start organizing for their homes. And I'm kind of doing the same thing right now. I'm trying to navigate that and find the stuff that I don't really need in particular. But I feel strongly about organization and getting that stuff kind of under control. I can be honest with you, I'm one of those people that if you go to get in my car, a lot of the times it's kind of tough to find a spot to put your feet. I'm not talking like super bad, but there's bottles and like my travel mugs that don't quite make it home from the travel that kind of just stay in the car. And I have been known to do that throughout my life because of being on the road a lot and navigating that, working like 45 minutes away from home. That's not an excuse, but that is one thing I know that I personally have to work on, because when you go to I usually don't have people get in my car with me. So for me, that's been kind of one of the things that keeps me from trying to keep on track and trying to make sure that I'm keeping my vehicle clean and good for if there is somebody that does drive with me, ride with me. So so that's another thing. Like I'm trying to hold myself accountable for those kinds of things and those quirks and things that I know that I have to work on, that I need to work on. And I guess that's a whole kind of a thing that I want you guys to think about as well. What are some of the things in your life that you can look at in a positive way, like as learning a lesson from it, or what it is that you need to do to get yourself more on track, to get yourself moving forward in the right direction. So that's kind of where I've been at these past couple of weeks. I finally buckled down this past week and started working on a set amount of like step goals, because I do have the Fitbit, which I really actually do like a lot. I'm not endorsed by them, so I'm not sponsored or any of that, but I do have one of my own. I got it for Christmas 2 years ago. I had prior to that had one from my friend Becky, who gave me one of her old watches, which was really cool, and that kind of got me set down the path of trying to get myself on a good healthy regimen. So this past week I added a couple more friends on there, and that helps you to kind of stay more motivated and keep you more goal oriented, because you can see what the other person is doing for stepwise. And I don't make it a competition. I have a set amount that I want to get in. So between my steps and then doing my bike and everything, that's kind of what I have been working on. And every single day for the past 9 days, I've actually hit my goal and surpassed it. And that's a big thing for me, to stay on track like that, because usually if I even falter just by 1 or 2 days, I struggle with getting back on. So this is like a really big positive step in the right direction for myself. And I'm hoping that I can just inspire other people to, get on track, get a regimen, figure out what it is they need to do to continue to move forward. Because this past week, we finally decided, we were going to not only do bass fishing tournaments out of state, we are looking at the ones in our state, and we signed up for our very first one, which is next month at the end of the month. And I'm very excited about it. We both are, me and Adam are both really excited about it. And I'm looking forward to that, but having that accountability of working on myself and trying to get my weight and get that under control, start to feel a little bit more confident and athletic. That's been one of the big pushes for it, and the fact that I have had the bariatric surgery, and in the past couple years I have gained some of the weight back, and I know that I don't want to go there. When I go to pull out the clothes that I have that I was wearing previous summers and I can't fit into them, that's something that I need to take into account and start working towards. So that's kind of where my goals are at, but I'm doing it in a healthy manner. I'm trying to figure out what it is that I need to work with. And right now I feel like my big thing is working with myself to get my body back up to par to be able to deal and to do these kayak tournaments. So that's where I'm at right now with trying to get those steps in. I'm not really trying. I have been accomplishing it. I've been achieving it. And honestly, it's not one of those like bragging things. It's more like, yeah, I'm doing it. I hope that you guys get inspired to do so as well. This is a good tool. It is actually. I mean, it helps me to see my heart rate and keep myself in check while I'm doing that workout, and to see the steps like you can see it on your watch. So when I'm looking, I try to count to see, because I do about 10,000 steps a day. And I accomplish that usually within the first 2 hours. I'll do 2 hours of workout. And I, in the past, have not been somebody that is very into sticking to that kind of a regimen, but I've added steps in, like the step up things. I added those in to get my heart rate up a little bit more and to get my body to move more. And since I've started doing that, I can feel that I have less aches and pains, and my back is finally starting to come around, because when, with gaining a little bit extra weight, not a little bit, kind of a little bit more extra weight, it's been a little bit tougher with the aches and the pains and whatnot. So I'm very thankful that I have people that are on there with me, that are keeping me, like, cheering me along, because you can cheer each other on. And, that helps me out. That helps me to continue to keep on pushing for it, and to be able to share that with other people. And it's like really it is, it's the accountability thing. It's making me feel a lot better. I have a lot of really good support behind me, and that's really helping out a lot. So I think I will be definitely ready to compete. So this first one's going to be in April. It's going to be the Top Water Kayak Tournament, I believe is what it is. And I'm looking forward to that. I think I am one of 2 women that are in this competition. And, of course, I'll be cheering her on as well. At first, I was the only one. And they were only selling 100 spots, because you do pay to put in for the cash prize. So you can win a bigger cash prize if you get like the biggest bass, if all these different things that you can win throughout it. So there is cash money prizes when you do these tournaments, which is exciting. That's kind of exciting to be able to do that. One of the top prizes is a really nice kayak that I would really love to win. So I got my eye on the prize, and, I'll be competing next to Adam. So that's going to be kind of fun. We kind of help each other to get set out on the water, and then after that we fish our own way of fishing. We don't help each other out when that comes to that. But so if one of us could win that kayak, and that'll be kind of interesting to see if one of us does. But it's just all part of trying to help to push forward and to keep on track with goals and things I want to do with my life still. I love being able to do the podcast. I'm super excited about the different festivals and things that will be coming up, coming this summer and whatnot. And it's just having that goal, and it's having that something that you're proud of yourself about. When you start to work on yourself and you work on your health, you start to feel like you have like that fear and anxiety kind of thing, for me, has started to come down a lot. Like, it's kind of more in the back, because at times I would feel like, well, I'm getting ready to go move towards doing something, and I'd get fear, or I'd have, issues with that. And with working on myself, I feel a lot more comfortable and more confident with what my goals are, what I'm trying to achieve. And it just really, really honestly, having that set and having people that do support me and help me through this is just, it's huge. So I'm excited. I can't wait. And I'm hoping this time around, it was so much last year when we started doing the tournaments, we'd get there, get practice in, start working on that stuff. And like, I didn't even pull out my camera. I was going to do filming while I was out there on the water, which kind of, I'm glad I didn't, because for my first experience being in a competition that big and really not having the best of luck with it, but the journey and the travel was something that I have not experienced. So that was something that was a lot, like, well worth the whole thing. It wasn't just about winning, because in a way I feel like I did win by doing that whole tournament and being able to focus on that and have that goal. I mean, it made me proud to be able to do that. And I feel like sometimes we have goals, but we put them on the back burner, because I know, like, it's hard to navigate with life sometimes, and all the different stuff that we have going on between working and whatnot. So right now for me, I am on my season off from my seasonal job, and focusing on not just working on myself, but other things that I want to continue to keep on doing. It kind of frees that up for me. And I know not everybody has that opportunity, but for me, having the seasonal job and being able to actually put time in and focus on it has been a blessing right now. In the past, it's been tough to be able to stick to it, but now I feel so much more confidence and I feel a lot different than what I was feeling, that I'm able to focus more on my intentions for life and my goals that I want. And it's really it's nice to be able to kind of take that breath and go, okay, let's get back on track. Let's focus on what it is that we want to do for ourselves. And it takes a lot changing and figuring that out sometimes is can be tough. It can be tough. It can bring up a lot, and it has been. There's times where I will not push myself away from people, but I do retreat and I do kind of keep to myself for a lot of stuff, because I feel like it's just easier for me to kind of sort it out. And there's times when you're thinking about stuff and it feels like there's a lot of pressure with things that are going on in your life, that sometimes it just feels like it's easier to try to keep it compartmentalized without having to really try to lean on people. But I found also that is a trait that, it's kind of tough, because I push away people that I do love, and I would like to be able to tell. And I have been working on that a lot too. I have gotten a lot better at actually communicating, which is funny because I do podcasts pretty much for a living. Been doing that for over 5 years now, I think. So it's interesting to say that I don't really talk that much, because when I'm here with you guys or on any of the other podcasts, like I that's what I do. We do a talk show pretty much. And it's interesting when I'm different from doing this stuff. It's funny when I actually run into people and it's like, oh, they're noticing me, or like I get this weird, oh, I gotta go this way or whatever, because people are noticing me and they want to talk or whatever. But I try not to do that. I try not to avoid anybody or anything like that. It's not really who I am. But when I go in there and I'm just running in quick and I have my workout clothes on and I'm just running in to grab something in a store, I'm just like, that's when I get kind of weird, like go out of the way to not make not let them see me when I'm looking like that. But I've learned, life is life, and we have so much stuff going on in our lives that sometimes that running into that moment, that's the only moment that you have. So you have to just kind of do it and just be okay with being yourself, whether it's running in sweatpants or you're dressed up or you have makeup on or you're all together. There's times when we're not all together. There's days when we're not all together. There's weeks when we're not all together. I mean, honestly, I feel like we all face that. We all have those different things that we have to face on our own. And we get too much in our head sometimes. I know I've definitely got too far into my head when it's just something so simple and I make it such a bigger deal than what I really need to be making it. So, I mean, I think that's just part of it, trying to figure out our comfort levels and finding out who we are, and finding out I talk about this authentic self thing. Like, I feel since being more of my authentic self that I've let go of a lot of things and worrying about what other people would think. And it's actually quite freeing. It's a different way to live, but it's really good. It's like a great way. Like I have to focus on what I have to do, just like I know my friends and family have to focus on what they have to do with their lives as well. I'm going to go ahead and take a look over here at the chat, see if I'm missing anything here. All right, I do kind of keep it closed because now that I am working from home in my home studio, seeing somebody commenting sometimes is hard for me to be able to concentrate on that while I'm talking about a subject. I am definitely one of those people that if I get sidetracked, I can lose my train of thought, and that gets a little bit rough. But I do see that there is somebody tuning in tonight, and I appreciate that, guys. So thank you. I know usually my podcast picks up more because it is a Sunday night right now, picks up more viewers after the fact. And I'm thankful for that. I'm really thankful for all of you that like and subscribe and are here with me and hanging out with me. Even if it is after I went live, I still appreciate everybody for listening and tuning in. I don't have all the answers. Obviously, I don't try to pretend like I do. I'm just somebody who's been through some stuff and is willing to share that with you guys to show that you can keep on moving forward, that you can move forward from things and you can make a good life. And just when we kind of let go sometimes. I know in the past I've had issues with trying to control everything, and I know that that's just it's not healthy to worry about controlling everything all the time. It's just not. To be able to let some people in, to be able to help out at times is such a blessing, and I think sometimes that was where I was missing things. I was missing out on those kind of connections with people because I would try to do everything on my own, and I realized that that's just not that wasn't healthy for me. I wanted to take control of everything. It was kind of like, being in school and having where you'd go to work in a group and you have that one person that was just like, no, I'm going to do this. I got the whole project. I'm going to do it. We weren't, if you were in that kind of group, you didn't learn anything. You didn't learn anything. And the person that was doing it all, yeah, they may have been learning about what the paper was that had to be written. They may have been learning about the whole subject and the project itself, but what were they learning by not being able to work as a team? I mean, I realize that we can't always work as a team, but when I get the chance, it's kind of, I used to shy away from it. Like I didn't want to do it, but now I realize you just gotta let go sometimes, and you gotta be able to let other people help you help out and do things. And that's another thing, like I said, with retreating and trying to keep to myself when I feel like things are hard and I don't want people to know about it. That's where I'm kind of coming back around to this to go, oh, sometimes I need help. And sometimes when I do that and push, kind of not push people away, but kind of retreat into myself to figure out stuff, yes, I do feel like some of that time is healthy. But if you continually keep on pushing people out and pushing away and not asking for help, it does kind of harm relationships sometimes. It does kind of make it difficult for relationships and family and friends and whatever that you usually are close to. So, it's a weird navigation thing. It's interesting trying to not only figure yourself out, but try to figure out the people that you have in your life. I mean, not necessarily figure out, but be able to work together, to be able to find out, in a sense, kind of like what their needs and wants are just as much as what yours are. And I feel like until you actually open up and talk to people like that and talk to people about it's kind of hard to navigate having friendships, relationships, and whatnot. Sometimes it takes a lot to be able to do that. And I've come in to find out that I have some really amazing people in my life. Sometimes I have a hard time trying to communicate with them to tell them, hey, you are, or I'll get really like mushy about stuff because that's just kind of how I am. I'm kind of a mushy person. And in the past, let's talk about that a little bit. In the past, being sensitive about stuff, having a sensitivity to be able to feel what other people are, if people are having a hard day or whatever, and trying to be that person to help out and to be there with them. And that's kind of tough. Like it put me, my emotions would be like out there. I would have hard time trying to control my emotions and whatnot. So that would make it kind of difficult to navigate and to be able to get stuff done. So in my past, in jobs, actually one of my jobs, my boss told me that I was too sensitive. And of course, at that time, then I did get sensitive about being told that I was sensitive. Go figure. And so I kind of had a hard time navigating that, going, but wait a minute, I am who I am. I feel how I feel, and I feel like being able to have that sensitivity to be able to tell when people are upset or when you are, to actually express your emotions is kind of, it's not a bad thing, being able to express your emotions. So I kind of took that at that time because I wasn't in that state of mind where it was okay. I wasn't in that state of mind where I was like, oh, okay, it's it's just something that I am. That's just who I am. But now I accept it and I say, okay, well, Yeah, I probably do get more emotional than most people, and I know how to navigate my emotions as opposed to trying to keep them away from people, and as opposed to being who I am and being myself and accepting that. And I think more people need to know that if you are emoji, if you do have, emotions and you show them, and even if it's hard sometimes and you share those emotions with people, it doesn't mean that you're weak. It doesn't mean you're that you shouldn't be accepted. It doesn't mean that you're too sensitive. It's just that's how some people are made. Some people don't show emotion at all. Some people don't know how to show emotion or how to express feelings. Sometimes their emotions come out as more of like an anger. And that's hard too. Like that's a hard to navigate as well. So I just accept that yeah, I am a sensitive person. I do get mushy. I do cry easy at things, and it's some people have called me a crybaby over it. Some people didn't know how to like navigate my emotions, because it's true, when you have emotions sometimes, and people that don't know how to navigate them don't know how to interact with you in that moment. If you're crying or if you're having a hard time, they don't know how to just kind of, you know, to help you through it or what to say in those times, because they're not used to those kind of emotions themselves. And I used to have a hard time with that as well, when people would not know how to navigate me with the things that I had going on. And I kind of at that time was like, why can't they, being the emotional person, why can't they understand this is me and this is how I am, and whatnot. And it's so hard to navigate sometimes with people. It's hard to just express who you are sometimes, or to know if it's okay to express who you are. So now where I'm at, I express who I am. I don't second guess about something when I'm feeling something, or I say something, or I'm doing something, because I'm trying so much to be more on the positive side of things, instead of trying to think of all of the negative or the doom and the gloom of what could happen from certain things. I'm just trying to work on myself and getting my health and mental health under control, keeping myself straight on the straight path. And so far it feels like I am getting that down. I'm getting to that point, and which is great. It's great, and I hope that those of you that are listening right now, if you're working towards that, don't give up. Don't give up on yourself. Don't stop believing in yourself, and continue to keep on working through it. It's hard work sometimes to be able to figure that out, but once you do, it's well worth it. It's definitely worth it. So don't get discouraged if you're just not getting through, if it's just seeming like it's a little bit harder to get through to healing and to getting yourself on track. Don't give up on that. Continue to keep on moving forward. If you're having a hard time with accepting who you are, and you know like I said, the emotional part of it, I being a crier, that's just who it is. That's just who I am. And instead of being embarrassed about it, like, I just accept it. And I obviously have no problem talking with you guys here online about it, because that's really what the show is about. I'm not too worried about being able to express myself and being human for who I am, for being who I am. So I appreciate you guys just like allowing me to do that, allowing me to talk with you guys about stuff like this. And there's a lot of things that are going on in the world. There's a lot of stuff that's happening right now, and things are just there's always something. It seems like always something going on, and it can play a big. It can weigh on you. It can play a lot on our emotions. It can cause a lot of things. It can cause fear. There's all kinds of stuff that are going on right now. It's just tough. It's tough right now. So I hope that if you guys are struggling through anything, that you're able to actually get in contact with somebody if you need to talk to somebody. Or right now, obviously I talk about having therapy, being able to have a therapist and talk to a therapist. That's something that works for me. I'm not saying that that's going to be something for everyone, but I did come to discover that it does make it a little bit easier for people to connect with a therapist now, because they do offer more of like your Zoom meetings instead of in-person meetings. So that takes a little bit less out of having to actually go into where it is that you're going to see your therapist. I'm not saying don't get out. I'm just saying that it does make it a little bit easier to be able to connect with a therapist or a doctor, whatever that you need to speak with. And I've talked about this before. I mean, having therapy, having a therapist and talking to one, there's no shame in it. Like, I don't feel like there should be shame in having a therapist or working on yourself. I don't feel that that is a negative in any way. So there's been a stigma throughout my life where that's been a thing. People that go to therapy, like, I don't need therapy. People don't need therapy. Like, that's, people looked at you differently. When I was younger, it was just like to have a therapist, but I was younger and I had a therapist, and I've had the same one for many years, and I feel like I've connected not just on that personal level with her, but now I'm going, oh no, when she retires, it's going to be different because I've known her. I've known her and I've worked with her throughout, off and on throughout my life. I sometimes you just have to do that. Sometimes you just have to find something that works for you and work through it. We work through so many different things, and I've talked to her about this podcast and the different things that I'm doing. And she gave me a little bit of a call out a couple weeks ago, because she said, when talking about that whole pushing away kind of thing, she said that when I get into stuff or feel like I'm in over my head, or I feel a little bit too much pressure when I go to retreat, I even do it with her instead of getting a hold of her. So that's not really helpful to me. And now that she's seen that, and that she brought it out to me, it makes more sense. It makes more sense to me now. So I don't want anybody to feel like if you have a therapist or you want to, or you need to talk with one, or you want to, that it's a bad thing. I feel like anytime that you're able to work on yourself, that's a positive. It's a positive. And to be able to notice that you need to work on yourself, that's huge. Sometimes we don't realize what it is that we need to be able to work on ourselves. And it's tough. It's tough to navigate that. But the more that you decide that you feel like you need to do, and the more that you push yourself to do it, I feel like it's the easier things will be once you push through and you face the things that are tough. So, thank you guys for checking in. I'm gonna take a moment here. I have some different things over here in chat. Shakoi says hi. Adam says checking in, sounding great. Thank you for that. I appreciate you guys jumping in. I do appreciate you guys jumping in and hanging out with me here. I'm not sure if I'm actually going to go for the full hour of the episode like I normally do. Sometimes now that I am doing my podcast here at home, until I start to get more guests on, I think I might be cutting down the time until I get more guests on in different things, because I am still trying to navigate subjects. So if you guys have any subjects that you would want me to talk about, anything that you'd be interested in having me talk about on the show, please go ahead and send me a message on my Facebook page at Survivor Girl Podcast. It has the same logo as what I have for this show. Go find that. Send me a message in my inbox so that I can look into those topics and see what I can do to find. I'm trying to get all of that together to get different subjects and different topics, because I've talked a lot about the things that I've faced in life. I've had several different guests on the show, and now working at this studio, I'm trying to figure that all out so that I can continue to keep moving forward in a positive. And there might be a couple days or a couple times throughout the month that I will be taking some time off to get a better, get my platform better here, and to continue to keep on getting subjects that will help you guys out there, that will help not just you guys, but help me move through, and whoever it is that is joining me on the show. I do want to give a quick shout out to Crystal LaFay show that's going to be coming up. If you guys have not subscribed, go check her out. She is on YouTube. Her and her friend Tammy, co-host now, will be doing the podcast, and I'm super excited about that. I can't wait to see Her show with those two ladies is going to be amazing. A lot of positive insight. Absolutely love her vibe and Tammy's vibe. And I think you guys will like it too. So, with that being said, I'm going to actually go ahead and jump off here. I appreciate you guys tuning in, hanging out with me. I will be back again. I have still been focusing on the motivational Mondays and different stuff like that. I'm going to really put some time in this week to get some stuff together so that I can continue to help hopefully motivate you guys. So I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. You take care of yourselves. And remember, guys, life is best lived